audience. Hello. Hello, Robert. Hi, Klaus. Yeah, welcome to this episode of Fun with Relux, and this episode is about OnCalc. So potentially you do not know what is OnCalc. OnCalc is a quite old product of Relux. It's a fast calculator where you can do calculations, lighting calculations online. Yeah, it's an online calculation tool. And we have updated the OnCalc. That's why the episode name is OnCalc2, because we have, since decades, since 20 years or something, we have updated the OnCalc1 to OnCalc2. And and this want we to show you today what is the change, what is inside. But before we showing you what it's about, just maybe a few words about the older OnCalc. I'm quite sure you know in ReluxDesktop the functionality EasyLux, and EasyLux is more or less a similar functionality where you can do a fast and easy calculation of light over a surface, over a room by just the energy portions. So EasyLux is also using we call it LOR method, light output ratio. Zonal cavity is also a name for this.
It's finally based on the formulas, or maybe some of who learned this in the early 80s, at the time before we have computers as a standard planning tool.
Yeah.
So you have a formula to calculate this by hand or maybe by a
pocket calculator.
This is based on this formula. And it is the big difference between full calculation is that you have only the average illuminance value in your room related to the room efficiency. And the problem is a little bit you have not a possibility to get any uniformity values or something like that, which are or glare values or something like that, which are important for all the complete quality criteria we need to check if the room is okay or it's not okay.
Yeah, so this is the big difference between a real calculation in ReluxDesktop, which we call radiosity. In ReluxDesktop, we have two calculation cores. There should be an older episode of Fun with Relux where we deal with calculation methods or calculation cores. Of course, we have at least 3 calculation methods in ReluxDesktop, which is the main calculation, which you know from the calculation and all the false colors and so on. This is radiosity. So, and we have also the red tracing in it. It's good for transparency and reflectance. And we have also with EasyLux this LOR, this efficiency method of a fast and easy way to know how many luminas you need for a certain level of light energy, so to speak. Yeah, and the OnCalc1 is a simple and easy fast calculator online based on this efficiency LOR method. And this is the reason why, because the reason was to use the efficiency method because it's really simple. It's just one formula. It's just factors which you need to multiply, and then you have the result. And this has also the benefit that you can do it easy with less calculation power, and also simple to understand and easy to apply. So it's really something you can do on the side with a pocket calculator, and makes not any big mess in math. So it's really simple, too simple for a lot of reasons. This method works well for a lot of occasions. If you have perfect diffuse luminas, if you have not any indirect part, if you do not deal much with the room surface reflections, then this is easy and good. But if you have some spots, or if you have some more complex rooms, then it's not so nice, and you miss all the time. And in each situation, you miss all the criteria which you have to do in 12464: uniformity, layering, basic room reflections, room illuminance values. This is missing in the method. So, and we tell you this because the new OnCalc, the 2 method we use is radiosity. So we put out the calculation core of ReluxDesktop and put it into our online fast calculation tool. So we have it online. We have since a couple of years and calculation core also online available for a couple of other products. And this now we crossed with OnCalc. And with the benefit that we have more than just this average illuminance value, we have all the other values also available on this. And we made a complex, we made the product not just from 1 to 2, we have also made more in a series. So we have 3 different OnCalc2 versions available. And we have already launched, already in place, the OnCalc2 legacy version, we call it, or API version. I show it in a minute how it looks like. We have also then a regular version, we call it, and the regular version I'm also going to show you in a couple of minutes, which is, let's say, the base version, which can do a lot of more things than the older OnCalc. And then we have a third option, which we do not present today because this is still in the concept phase, more or less, and not ready to show, and also something where we need more space. This is will be an own episode. If we have it finished, then we do an episode just on this, because it's so much to show, so much to tell about this. So, but we start quite simple as promised, and for this I share my screen and show you the entry point of this. I just need to close this presentation. Yes, we start the journey of OnCalc1 with our product catalog, more or less the ReluxNet. Here on ReluxNet, we have all the luminaires which you can, from all our members, which you can use in ReluxDesktop, of course. And here we have here a pocket calculator icon, and this is the OnCalc fast calculation. And so you need to select one of the luminaires. I already selected here a nice family of basic ball is the name of this product, and it's a glass sphere which produces the light in all directions, which is really nice. And it's, for me, it's a nice product for hallways, corridors with a higher room height. Oh, we have not shared the screen. 1 second. Yeah. And this is right. We do not share the screen. Ah, okay. I see the issue. I see the issue. I see the issue. Okay, good. Thanks for telling. Yeah. You do not miss a lot. I just show ReluxNet, which you have also on your inner eye. I'm quite sure.
Repeat it. Thanks to Fabio.
Yeah, thanks to Fabio. Also thanks to Ian, to tell us. Okay, it was a second click which I did. Okay, ReluxNet. In ReluxNet, we have here this pocket calculator button. And with this pocket calculator button, we can start the OnCalc, the fast calculation. Of course, this is an option. If you see here a nice product, you see here, okay, it has 3,500 lumen. Is it okay? Is it enough for my corridor or not? And for this reason, it's good to click on this pocket calculator button here. And this is the user interface of OnCalc1 and also OnCalc2 Legacy. So the first product of the new OnCalc series is the same UI, the same interface to the calculation. But here on OnCalc1, we had the efficiency method, and I found an old printout course. Now it's already switched to OnCalc2, so it's not possible to go back to the old printout. But I have in my on my storage, I found an old report, an old result of the OnCalc1 era with the efficiency method. So it's in German. I just found the German one, but it's easy to describe. We have here just the data, what the user entered in terms of the room size, reflection degrees. We have here a bit of information from the LDC, from the product, from the luminaire. So nothing in calculation. It's just what is about the LDC. bit of flux code, bit of numbers, size, and so on. And here down below we have the results. This is the results of an efficiency method, where you have one of the results is the amount of luminance you need, and also how much average illuminance you reach.
Yeah.
Estimated. Yeah. It's calculated in a way.
Yeah, it's calculated.
And the nice thing of the efficiency method is that it's a really simple formula of factors, and you can just put it in different directions. So you can, with a given amount of luminance, you can calculate the illuminance, and with a given illuminance, you can calculate the amount of luminance. This is the magic. You can put in, I want to have 500 lux, and you get the number of luminance, the energy you need in order to have this amount of average illuminance. Back and forth. You can also put it in all kind of directions, because it's in such simple formula. But again, it's a really simple basic method just dealing with the energy and not with the photometrics. So the LDC doesn't count in any way in this method. It's just about the flux.
It's an estimation, which it's called the old LTG codes, about if you have how many percent is going up and how many percent this is taken.
This is taken in.
Okay. This is taken into account.
Advanced efficiency method.
This is the zonal cavity.
Zonal cavity. So
it calculates the old LGT lighting class A6 and D4. I don't remember exactly.
Okay. Good. Okay, but this is past. This is not available anymore. That's why I need to have this for my old records. And and this is also the same user interface to the OnCalc2 legacy API version. We call it legacy because we're using exactly the same UI or exactly the same interface, the same API. With the benefit that it's easy to switch from 1 to 2, because you do not need to do anything. It's the same interface. We can use the same user interface. The most of the manufacturers which using the OnCalc from us are using an own interface, because this interface is on one hand quite simple, so easy to rebuild on your own style, and on the other side, it's not really the most beautiful UI. So it's I can really understand that the manufacturers create their own user interface for this simple fast calculation, and this has the same interface. So all the manufacturers we could switch to the new method, the new photometrical calculation, the new OnCalc2 legacy version by just doing nothing. Just we need to switch to the method. The interface is exactly the same. It was not so easy as it sounds, but it was more easy as to create a new API and to deal with a new interaction. But more or less every manufacturer is now connected to the new calculation method, and this new calculation method is based on a real radiosity photometrical calculation with single grid points, with false colors, with uniformity, with all the criteria from 12464, and the same calculation method, which is the base of ReluxDesktop. So, and again, it's the same user interface. I show you how it works. You need to enter the room dimensions here above. This is everything which we have in the OnCalc1, OnCalc2 legacy world in terms of usage profiles. Because this efficiency method can just deal with a basic average illuminance. There's not any other criteria, and that's why it's not possible to say, okay, I have a profile for a corridor or for an office, because you just can deal with the illuminance. And also the interface is limited. So the interface to the calculation core is just about the average illuminance and nothing about uniformity and so on, and not for the usage profiles. So we are stuck here with a value, and this 5 options here above is nothing more or less than just the illuminance levels we want to have. So I say here, it looks like I want to have in traffic, in hallway or in corridor, or some traffic area. But this is, in the back end, I just say, okay, it's 100 lux. I want to have 100 lux. Here I say I want 300 lux. So this is just the value of the illuminance I have here in the requirement, and not the real full profile. This is important to understand.
A little bit the level.
Yeah,
it's a little bit.
How bright?
No, on which
on
the ground. On the ground,
yeah.
and on the working level on 0.75
at floor at 0, and at 7.5 for a desk. Yeah, and this is all which we transfer, and this is also everything which the calculation core is dealing with. And we decided to do the new OnCalc2 basic API legacy version also to the same interface, and this means that we have the issue to have it limited in the interface. Okay, but it sounds like I just need to show you how it looks so that I can explain better. So we have here, we have two options to deal with it. We have one is we can say, okay, I want to have this illuminance level, or I can say I want to have a fixed number of luminars. I want to see how much illuminance I have with this for luminars. But most of the guys using this method to say, okay, I want to have 100 lux for my hallway, and then I can see, okay, I need to have 2 luminars on this, and then I can have a result. The result looks like this. And here we can see the first time that we have a new calculation core connected, and also, of course, a new outprint of this. Because here we have false colors. We see here, okay, it's a real photometric calculation. I have here all the grid points calculated. I see how many light comes on what surface and I have also results. It looks like 12464. I have here a uniformity. I have a cylindrical value. I have also brightness levels on ceilings and on the ceiling and on the walls, with a uniformity on ceiling and walls, which is also important for 12464. But I have just a requirement of an illuminance value, and not an value for the rest of it, or an usage profile like office or corridor or hallway. This is one issue of this, but it's beneficial that we have at least a real photometric calculation, and also with real positions. So in the past, we have not the positions of the luminars, we have just the amount of luminars for the energy, and now we have here the real photometric calculation with positions. So where is the LDC, where is the luminar really installed to have these results? So this is also possible to install it, and you potentially get the same results on site with these positions on the room. And it's also possible to say, okay, I want to see what happens if I'm putting, for example, 4 luminars into it, and then it's calculated the same for 4. It's just another way of calculating. And here we have, surprise, almost the double of the illuminance, and here also with positions, and of course with almost double the value in terms of illuminance. So this is the, let's say, the entry point, and this is already switched to this. So if you go right now to ReluxNet and do an fast calculation, you end up with a photometric calculation with this new PDF and also with the positions of the luminars and real photometric results. And also all manufacturers which are connected to the OnCalc also have this new option. And I can show you on one sample. There is where we have it. There's RZB, which is the manufacturer of this nice product, this basic ball, this class Thea. And here's also the light calculator. In the light calculator, this is the own RZB created interface to this. And I have slightly different sizes of the room, but it's also, I guess it's the same luminar. I'm not quite sure it's really the same of this family. And I can do here the same. I can say, okay, I want to have the illuminance value, or I have an fixed amount of luminars, and then I can do the same calculation. And in the background, it's exactly the same. We have the same calculation engine, and here on this room size, I need 4 luminars for this amount, and if I click here, download the PDF, I get here the PDF with this same result in general. So this is this is the OnCalc2 legacy. This is the first product, which is already in place, as I said. And the next step is the OnCalc2 regular, which looks like this. And this is something which we're going to launch in the next weeks. So it's still in prototype. I can show you the current state of this prototype. And in this prototype, the journey is a bit of difference. So we have not just one luminar. So the limitation of this old method here is also that you have to select one of the luminars. So you have one luminar which you need to select, and then you do this calculation on exactly one luminar, so one luminar type. Of course, you have multiple amount of this, but this is one of this. Imagine you want to have all the luminars. So you want to know, okay, which is the best of this family? You have a family like here, we have 20, 40 of different versions, different sizes, different luminous fluxes, different, different properties, and you want to know what is the best of this amount of products. And also, we also putting in, of course, we created a new interface, also the complete usage profile. So in OnCalc2, it's possible in OnCalc2 regular, you can complete this family or in collection of luminars. On almost all the product catalogs of manufacturers, it's possible to make some kind of a basket or some kind of a profile on gathering of articles that you can do in comparison of products. So it's possible to collect luminars and then do something with comparison or maybe go to a shop or something. And you can collect luminars, and then you can in one rush provide to OnCalc multiple luminars. It's also in question how many luminars in kinds of performance. So here I have a sample of 20 luminars, the family of this basic balls, and I go here for a real profile. I go here for corridors and circular areas. This is the 12464 profile, so not just the average illuminance, also the uniformity, cylindrical values, UGR values. This is the complete profile and not just the illuminance. And I have here some options of different room shapes. It's still one room. This is the same. We have still one room, but here with a bit of more shaping of the room. So I have one room and real usage profile, and I can put a lot of luminars into it and not just one. Of course, you can also do it with one luminar, but the benefit of this OnCalc2 regular version is that we can deal with multiple luminars. And this I'm going to start. This is real time. But this calculation time is scalable. So it's really about how many hardware we have in the background to calculate this, because all the luminars are now in calculation of this room. So we have, I also make a misfit of the room size. It's in bed corridor with 10 by 10. But 10 by 10 is not so bad. It's 100 square meters, so it's a bit of bigger. You can check the 10 o'clock European time episodes. Then we have the half of the size of the room, and then you can compare the calculation times. Now it's finished. It's not so bad. You can wait for it, but of course it's something we need to optimize it. It's as fast as possible. But of course, we need to check how many servers we can allocate to this. So, okay, but if you are finished, we have all the results in a row. So all the family members of this product are in one line. And here we have the results of each of these single products graphically and also in values, of course. Again, it's just a prototype. There are tiny mistakes which are going to be corrected soon. So for example, the false colors are missing at the moment. So here should be false colors that you can see, okay, it's a photometric calculation and that you have a feeling about the brightness. Here in 3D, you can also see the room. It's, yeah, if you have in shape of the room, then it's more fancy than this simple square. And yeah, and this view makes sense if you have false colors or values in it. You can have this view. We can also have in table. This is, I guess, with more information on less space, but this is the default situation. And here you can see all the luminas, also by LDC, also by 3D geometry. But here in this prototype, there's not the geometry connected in a way. And then you have a list of results. And the next question is, okay, all the results are according to standards. So we show you just the right amount of this single luminance to fulfill the standard. So in some cases, you have 4 luminars. In this sample, you need to have 9 luminars because this has obviously less luminous flux. And then you need to decide on one. And of course, it's not nice to check everything and to make a decision. Of course, you can do it. You can scroll your way and find the best option for you. Maybe on the list, but we have here, this is this element here, we can make a sorting. So we can, for example, an easy pick is the sorting for quantity. So we can see here now, I want to have my solution with less amount of luminance. Then you click here, then you have the option with the less luminance to fulfill the standard, and yeah, and to have just less installation effort or just less material. Also, pricing is interesting, but we do not have prices at the moment of this. But this is for future. It would be nice to have all the prices. And for example, if you checked correctly on this RZB webpage, there was a price on this product. So it's existing for a lot of products from manufacturers to have at least some list prices and to make a comparison of price. But I can imagine there will be a lot of discussions about this. We have also power consumption. This is available because we know the energy consumption of the complete installation. So this is not just one luminar, it's the complete installation, so all the luminars which we have. And interesting one is the best overall, and best overall is something where we have some criteria. So best overall means different stuff for different people. So we have pricing, energy, and lighting quality. And here you can say, okay, pricing is for me just 7% important. So you can say, okay, price is more important for me. Price is really important for me. And then it sorts according to this weight of this criteria. So you can balance and weight the criteria. Here, for example, you want to have it energy efficient. Then you have here a solution where you have less energy consumption, or the lighting quality is the most important one. And lighting quality is also interesting because lighting quality is also something where we have thought about, okay, how we can rate lighting quality, because we have tons of different criteria. We have here brightness, uniformity, color rendering, cylindrical illuminance, also important for a couple of situations if you want to recognize a face or something. And here we have the option also for the user to put the balances, the weights on the balances by himself. Of course, there is a default. This is not the default. I already have in this situation moved it a bit, but there is a default which you can trust. But of course, you can change it by yourself and decide what is more important for you. This is really interesting. In the background, we have a scoring method where we put all the criteria with a factor, and these factors you have here in percentage, and can decide, okay, the cylindrical value is, for example, more important, or here the uniformity is most important. I want to sort all the results in uniformity or whatever, and then the list below is changing. UGR value is more important, for example, or you have a mixture of this. And yeah, and this is quite quite interesting because it's of course it's something to discuss. It's not something which is easy to decide. Because lighting quality has different shapes for different users. It's not easy. That's why we decided to put this to the front. Beyond this, the rest is quite straightforward mathematically, because we're just putting the criteria together and let the user decide how many weight he puts on which criteria. Yeah, and this is in sorting. It's just a sorting. It's not an decision. It's just in sorting. Of course, you can check the values and make a decision on your own to something else if you check all the criteria with all the background knowledge you have from the situation. Yeah. So this is if you then decided, you need to decide what you want to have, and for this decision you take on the product of this family, for example. Then you get here a result report, and the result report looks similar what we had on the OnCalc2 API legacy version, also with false colors. But here with a difference, here we have not just the average illuminance. Here we have really the complete 12464 usage profile, which we take here for a requirement level, and these requirements are valid. Of course, it would not be in the selection if it's not according to these requirements. And we have here the requirements for cylindrical, horizontal, for the room brightness itself, and also for the uniformity from the room brightness is fulfilled. And we have also of course the positions of the luminaires for this calculation. And here on the third page we have a small surprise. This is not here in this, but I have prepared a picture of this. We going to start with an AI image, and this is one of the results which will be in a couple of days inside this PDF. This is an AI-generated image where we put the false colors with the luminance values, so with the reflection degrees of the walls, the size of the room, and also the product with pictures of the product, together with the usage, the profile type in a prompt, put it to an image generation, and get the result back and put it to the PDF to bring a bit of an feeling, and mood image of this. And the results of the illuminance in these pictures are quite okay. It's not perfect. It's an image, but it's looks really similar on what we putting as an input in our false colors grayscale images. This is not so far away, and in some usage profiles here in the corridor is quite simple. There's not much to see, but in some of the usage profiles, then we have also some people sitting in libraries, livestock. There's something going on where you have a bit of a more living image with a bit of more impression how this could look like, the combination of the lumina itself, how the lumina looks, how the room is shaped, and also with a bit of an application view on situations. Corridor is a bit of boring, but the rest is a bit of more life in it. And this is just a nice feature to shapen this boring technical report to something with a bit of more living. And this is the difference between the two first OnCalc2 versions. Legacy version dealing with the same interface, still simple, one lumina, one room, and the OnCalc2 regular version where you have multiple luminaires which you can put in, where you have a comparison of different luminaires based on a real 12464 usage profile, and with real results in the end for this. And more or less this is the end of what I want to show you. Just I need to tell you this OnCalc2 regular is not finished. You can see there are tiny issues if you check correctly. This will be fixed in the next, let's say, by minimum 2 weeks, maybe longer. Depends on when we are happy with the final result. And this is something which we provide to manufacturers. This is not something we put on ReluxNet. It's technically possible, but we do not do it in the next time. We can. It's not planned to put it on ReluxNet at the moment, because ReluxNet is also a bit of older. We want to do a new ReluxNet. There is maybe an option to put this this tool in, but we start with manufacturers to put this to their product catalogs in order to allow users in comparison inside an incomplete family or in comparison of different products of a similar kind on one specific room with one specific usage profile, and do a good choice of a product for this room of this requirements of the use case. And so if you want to test it, it's just possible with a manufacturer at the moment to do this, if you are a lighting designer or a user of this and not a manufacturer. If you are on the manufacturer side, you can you can think about if it's something for your product catalog. If yes, our sales is open to connect it to you to discuss how we can connect it. It's in the end it's an interface which you need to throw the luminaires on, and then you can have this. Of course, GLF would be fantastic. Of course, pricing, all the other criteria, GLF would be the best, but also Olumdat is working, but then without a picture, for example, just LDCs also works well, but it's not the same. Okay, enough, and I can see that we have kind of questions here, which is good. Then let's go to the questions. I just end the screen sharing and go into the questions. We need to show the screen. Just thank yous. Okay, and here's a question. Could the luminaire specification datasheet include a field indicator whether the light distribution is symmetrical or asymmetrical? Additionally, would it be possible to incorporate this as a filter within ReluxNet to make luminaire selection more efficient? Yes, interesting questions. We have not a pure indicator of asymmetrically in this tool. Of course, you see the LDC. In all the situations, you see the LDC and can see if it's or in which way it's asymmetrical, but it's not planned to having in marking or in classification. There is the flux classification, but nobody can read a flux classification.
But we have a kind of LDC classification, and also we have a filter for the type of LDC, if it is more narrow or more wide, or it's direct, indirect, and there is a filter. If it is especially symmetrical or asymmetrical, is at the moment is missing, but we can think about it. And if you are a luminaire manufacturer and you want to use the service on your side with your special product, so we will find a way to also to implement this in your data sheet, which may be different from that what we are actually using on ReluxNet.
Okay, the second part of the question was, would be a nice filter for ReluxNet. Of course, this is one of the situations, but of course, ReluxNet has hundreds, thousands of luminaires, and it's not possible to calculate everything for your room, for your use case. But if you have a smaller amount, and you have here seen this sample with a larger room with 20 luminaires. In the German version this morning, we have this 20 luminaires on half of the side of the room, which was even more faster. And I have also a lot of use cases where I have 40 luminaires, where I'm happy to wait a couple of seconds. But this is also a limitation factor of performance with this method, because we have a real photometric calculation. And it's not just the photometric calculation, it's also the positioning. So we have a mechanism in the background to find the right amount of luminaires in order to fulfill the standard. This is quite fancy and real USP. that we find out with machine learning how many luminas you need of this kind in this usage profile in this room, and this is then the result of this. And there are tons of calculations in the background, and to do this for all the net catalog, but for a selection, of course, or for one family, let's say that you want to see the best lumina of one series, or in our terms, family. This is, of course, an interesting thing, and we think on ReluxNet too, but it's not planned to connect it directly like we did it with the OnCalc 1 and 2 legacy version. Okay. Oh, and question in
it's from
okay, it's internal. So then we have the last question. So if you want, you can ask questions now. Where I can click at ReluxNet to open at calculation. Yeah, this is the small pocket calculator on the side. You need to select an lumina with a variant and with a lamp, and then the pocket calculator. But the pocket is active anymore. You have by default select one lamp and one variant if you open it up, and just the pocket calculator. It's the same button like a ReluxDesktop, more or less. Yep. And then there are just two buttons. It's easy to do this. Okay, and that's all, which is okay. We are in a good time, shape. Yeah. Hope you find it interesting. It's an interesting way, a more modern way to select and to find the right lumina for a given situation. And yeah, it will be available soon. Check out on manufacturers. And yeah, we have to announce the next episode. The next episode is episode 57. It's happening on the 28th of May. And it's about emergency lighting again. We have a lot of emergency lighting, but there's a lot of going on with emergency lighting. And we want to show you how the new EN 1838, new one means the 2024 version in international. In Germany, it was the 2025 version. And yeah, how we implemented this in ReluxDesktop. And on this time, hopefully it will be public. At the moment, it's still in a beta situation, but we want to show you how to operate the new 1838 in comparison to the old one. The old one is still available, so we will have both options and how to use this and how to interpret the different ways of doing emergency lighting with these new options. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Hope to see you in May again. Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.